Anyways. Right. Yo, what is up, my beautiful brothers and sisters? Welcome to Astro Fenixx. Let me actually do the proper intro for this. Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love, as always. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be live for this particular video. When I actually made a video earlier today announcing that I was going to go live today because I know it has been notifying everyone. Just in case, I encourage you to tap that bell so you can receive all the notifications. Maybe that will help to work out some of the kinks as far as that goes. And then there was a moment like an hour or two after I made that video where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go live anymore. But that was only because, like, what I wanted to talk about, I still want to talk about it, but it's like the way I wanted to approach it shifted. I wanted to bring it to a higher vibration. I wanted to bring it to a more pure place. So that's why, I'm still going to go live. I promise you all I was going to go live, so I don't want to like go back on my word, but I realize, like, it's like, we all make mistakes. We all trip up if we may see them as mistakes. But it's like, I didn't make the best decision with something I did earlier, but it's actually a teaching point. It's a teaching point for me, and it's something I want to share with you all as well. Just my experience with what happened earlier. And yeah, pretty much that's what this is about. As you can see, I titled this "Keeping Your Vibration Pure," and I had different things. I just literally came up with that in the moment, but I felt like that really is what's resonating with me at this moment in regards to how I feel about this experience that I have, because we're all going to have confrontations and dilemmas and drama and debates with people that don't see eye to eye to us. But it's like how we respond to those, how we handle those situations really does determine our vibration. And it didn't sink my vibration that bad when I started thinking about it more in depth, but it just sort of was like, I probably could have just walked away from that. That was not something I really should have gotten involved with, especially since it wasn't really concerning me. But let me go ahead and just tell you all what happened anyway. So I'm not sure if I'm going to catch you on live because this is a little bit later in the evening. I just got off of work not too long ago, and then I went to the grocery store right afterwards because I wanted to pick up a few things. So that's why we're a little late to getting on here. It's funny, I'm saying keeping my vibration pure, and I have this, and I got this, but it is what it is. Because this is sake, yeah, and I haven't had sake in a long time. I can't remember the last time I've had it. It's been a long time since I've had it. Anyways, so this is what happened, guys. Let me just, of course, bring in some astrology just to like as this sort of backdrop to why this probably happened. The moon is currently in Aries right now. So as I can actually just pull it up real quickly to see exactly what degree the moon is at. The moon is actually at 16 degrees of Aries, so it's pretty much right smack dab in the middle of it. So the moon is actually coming into the square with Saturn and Pluto. So for those of us, at least here in the United States, this is going to be occurring overnight and early into the morning on Thursday. And then by noon, the moon would have squared Pluto as well as the South Node, but it's also going to be squaring this North Node in Cancer and this Mars. And in fact, probably at around the time that this happened earlier today, which was probably like, it was coming off the square to Mars. But we have Mars in Cancer. We have the North Node in Cancer. We also have all this Gemini energy right now too, with the Sun being there, Mercury is there. But the moon is in Aries right now. And if you haven't already checked out my moon transit video, I talked about this was going to be a moment of bold interactions, bold enthusiasm. But a bit of that boldness is tempered, of course, by these nodes. And that boldness is kind of tempered by the fact that it's like we can kind of push right now with our ego, with the moon being here. But at the same time, we really do have to remember and like just we have to remember our feelings. We have to remember to feel our feelings. We have to remember to process them. We have to remember to not be afraid of the feelings that we have. And we also have to learn how to react differently and properly in these moments. So hey Milana, how are you doing? Glad you can join us. But So essentially, this is what happened, right? So one of my cousins posted on Facebook, right? And he posted this whole thing from Apple Music. It's like I created this cool Apple Music playlist for people born between like, I don't know, 79 and 89, something like that, 70s and 80s. So he posted that on Facebook, and then there are people that are kind of like commenting on it, wanting to check out the playlist. And then there was this one dude that came in apparently and said something along the lines of, "I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to Apple products," or whatever like that. And my cousin was like, "Okay, well, just keep scrolling then. If you don't subscribe to Apple products, if you don't really vibe with them, just keep scrolling. There's no need for you to really be on this post." Then the dude progressively got more confrontational and antagonistic, pretty much calling my cousin a brand slave, pretty much saying that he's always been a brand slave, whatever like that, and it was always trying to try the next new thing, essentially kind of just downplaying my cousin's post about this Apple Music playlist. And it was just kind of weird. They kind of went back and forth a little bit. It's like, yo, why would you, if you don't like something, why would you even comment on it? And then apparently, I'm guessing this is something that's happened before where this guy would like comment on his stuff and be a bit confrontational, pretty much calling my cousin just like kind of like a sheep. He pretty much called him a sheep. I think he actually, in one of the comments, he did call him a sheep or something like that. Calling him a brand slave. That's one of his words that he used. And it was like this weird thing, right? And I'm sitting here like looking at it. I'm like, oh God, really? Like, are we really going to play that game right now? And then my other cousin, his sister, she hopped in, and then of course he kind of attacked her, and it's understandable why she would hop in because her brother's getting attacked. That's my cousin, it's like, and like I'm cool with my family, whatever like that. I don't talk to them every day. I don't talk to my cousins every day and stuff like that. They live probably like an hour away from here, but I'm cool with my family. And it's like, especially like growing up, we were like very, very tight, me and my cousins and stuff. So it's like, and it was a weird situation. It was such a weird situation. So it's like, a part of me was like wanting to comment and kind of call this dude out because he was being very antagonistic, and I got this sense of fake wokeness, when people talk about being woke or like awakening, whatever like that. I've noticed that there is this dangerous aspect of the ego that has been coming up with people where it's like they flaunt around how awake they are. They flaunt around their level of wokeness or walking their path, whatever like that. And I'm just sitting here like, and I'm fighting within myself, like, am I going to comment on this? And I even was talking to my partner about it too. What's going on, Whipsy? How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. But I'm finding myself wanting to comment. Now, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. I do not get into debates on the internet. I used to get into debates on the internet back in like late middle school, high school, and a little bit into college. I loved doing that, getting to debates from the internet and all that sort of stuff. I did it a lot. And then somewhere along the line, I realized that it was pointless, stupid, and it's robbing me of my energy, right? So I don't really get in that stuff. I might post to some people what would be controversial stuff, but generally, honestly, a lot of stuff I post on Facebook, people, I mean, they generally like it, but a lot of times people ignore it, especially the astrology stuff, but hopefully that'll change. But anyways, the dude was just kind of being unnecessarily antagonistic just because my cousin buys Apple products. And I kind of get where the dude's coming from, you know, but what was strange about it is that he was acting like he was more aware and more awakened and more woke than my cousin. And I was like, I have to call this out. Of course, the moon's in Aries right now. The moon is in, it's going into my 5th house. This is in my 4th house, going into my 5th house. And of course, we have Mars over here in Cancer going into my 8th house too. So it's like, even though Mars doesn't like to be in Cancer, even though Mars in Cancer doesn't want to fight, Mars in Cancer is when the warriors come home from the battle, right? Come home from the battle, and it's like their wives are like pampering them, they're tending to their wounds and all this sort of stuff. They don't necessarily want to fight, but Cancer is my 8th house, so there's still a little bit of that edge there. So I made the decision, I'm not gonna say mistake, I made the decision to comment on it. I made the decision to comment on it. And maybe I can even pull it up in here and read it, because I thought it was just honestly just fucking unnecessary what the dude was saying and all this sort of bullshit. Let's see if I can even I don't know if I can even well, I might be able to find it. My cousin might have deleted it, which honestly would be smart, because it was just kind of stupid anyways. But yeah, it looks like he might have actually deleted the post. It makes sense why he would delete it. Anyways, so what happened was I ended up commenting on it, and I was like, you know, I pretty much called him out on this shit. I was like, all right, there's no need for you to be calling him a brand slave. This is kind of pathetic that you're trying to act more woke than him. And then this is when this is when my ego started to come out and shit. And I was like, let me guess, you're probably a vegan and only eat food that you yourself have grown. You probably, you know, are a minimalist. You probably, you know, don't drive a car because it's a brand name and a big company. You probably just ride a bike around. And then I put the Snyder mark in there, being like, you probably don't even know your astrological moon sign. And of course, when I posted it, I thought it was funny as shit. But I'm just like, why are you attacking someone just because they endorse something that you don't endorse? And there are certain things I can kind of understand it with, but especially with something like that, like a product, there's no real need to really just be attacking people for what products that they support, especially when the whole purpose of the post was to spread good music. That was the whole purpose of the post. The dude ended up pretty much private messaging me on Facebook, pretty much calling me all kinds of names. Pretty much every other word was a cuss word or like that, talking about he's really about this life, blah, 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 whatever. So I was like, I'm good, fam. I'm gonna just back off. Have a blessed day, pretty much is what I said. I was like, I'm just not even gonna engage with this. I deleted the conversation, and I'm just like, you know what? I have noticed that there is this weird trend in the world where people want to just really just completely take themselves out of the equation as far as engaging with this world. You know, these big companies, you know, like you have Apple, you have all the, like, I guess you said car companies, but yeah, these big companies and stuff like that. Not every millionaire and billionaire is out for their own personal gain. They may have a lot of money and shit, and a lot of them are underhanded and do shady business practices and whatever like that. But a lot of these people, I would say most of them actually, these really well-off people who have created these products for us to enjoy and stuff like that, a lot of them aren't like engaging with these products isn't going to weaken your level of spirituality. You know what I mean? It's not going to weaken your level of spirituality just because you engage with something. I just think it's really dumb. And honestly, if it does, then honestly, I'm sorry, you're kind of weak. And like, I'm getting like, I'm kind of going into that area, stuff like that. But it's like, you gotta have more confidence in yourself, man. I mean, this technology that we have, we got to remember, guys, we're in the age of Aquarius. Uranus is in Taurus. And when it comes to a lot of these things, yes, the South Node and Saturn and Pluto are all in Capricorn. And Capricorn does rule big business. But these energies are retrograde. Of course, the nodes are always going backwards. But these energies are retrograde right now. So, yes, we are going through a bit of a review period on how we carry out big business. And Uranus is in Taurus, and it's going to be trining this energy. So it's like Uranus rules inventions, it rules ingenuity, it rules innovation, but it's trining it. I believe that we're going to come out with technology over the next 7 to 8 years that is going to really shift things back to where they should be, and we can actually begin to clean up this planet. But not all inventions and all manifestations of the technology that we have, not all of them are meant to just be ignored. Not all of them are meant to just be cast aside, you know? I think there are levels to this stuff. Like, obviously, it's like, it's good to take breaks from social media. It's good to take breaks from some of these medium that we engage with, you know? But it's 2019 and we do have these things for a reason. Yes, we shouldn't be on our phones all the time. Yes, big business has fucked up a lot of things, but at the same time, there's no need to necessarily call someone a sheep just because they use it. I don't think there is. And then to flaunt the issue I had was he was kind of flaunting the fact that he was awake and pretty much putting down my cousin. So I didn't really appreciate that. I walk a spiritual path. I don't really flaunt it though. I make videos, I talk about things, but I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm more woke than anyone else. I mean, I did kind of say that when I was like, I bet you don't know your own astrological moon sign. That was a snide remark. I probably shouldn't have said that, but it was funny. But it's like, and then here's the thing, though. I let that take too much of my energy. I realized that after I did it, I did kind of feel good about it and calling him out and stuff like that. And I thought it was funny the way that he reacted to me, because he reacted to me and not the most. I mean, like, he used a cuss word pretty much almost every other word, you know, in the message that he sent me. I just deleted it because I'm like, I'm not really going to engage with you, whatever like that. I'm like, dude, stay blessed, man. I'm gonna back off. Whatever, you live your life. And then I did something else tonight actually, because I made a Facebook post talking about, you know, hold on, actually I can actually just pull it up what I said, because and then he went and commented on that. Like, he actually looked up my name, commented on my post, and I hid it because I was like, I'm not really going to deal with it. And it was related, but it wasn't entirely about him. So it was like, but both of us honestly probably had ego checks. But I said on my Facebook post, like, being woke in this world is a box too, just a bigger box than the one you claim to have broken free from. And that's true, because it's like we break out of these boxes or these matrices a lot of time. But what happens when you break out of one? You go into a bigger box. So it's like, and it's like, you know, when I could talk about my spiritual path, there's layers to this shit, you know? It's like, you know, back in like middle school and high school, I broke through a layer. Then when I got to college, I broke through another layer. Then I left college and I broke through another layer. And now it's like, I feel like I'm breaking through so many different layers. It's like you just go back into a bigger box. You go into a bigger space. So it's like this whole idea and this whole weird ego trip that some people get, that we probably all get at some point. But there's this weird thing where people talk about how, oh, I'm woke. I'm so woke. I'm so awakened. And it's weird because they flaunt it. And it's the way that they talk about it. You could talk about your awakening and your spiritual path, but there's a way to talk about it without flaunting it and putting yourself over other people. Because truthfully, like on this path, like when it comes to like this awakening process, oh my gosh, your ego gets shattered. Your ego gets destroyed. Guys, you got to remember, Chiron is in Aries right now. Chiron is in Aries right now. We are all getting ego checked really hard right now. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And we need the ego. We need that Aries energy. We need that that sort of impulsive, fiery kind of energy because it works, but in context. It works, but in context. So it's like in those moments, in that moment, it probably would have been better for me to not really worry about that. Maybe channel it into something more creative. Maybe a poem, maybe art, has, as someone said in the comments, maybe a song, or maybe, I don't know, fucking go to the gym or something like that. But it's like, this is about keeping our vibration pure. And it's like, you know, right now, especially with Mars in Cancer, especially with all the South Node and energy and Capricorn and all this sort of stuff that's going on, you know, don't get me wrong. I love a good debate. I actually really enjoy it. I love a good debate. I love a good debate. I love discussion and stuff like that. We can have debates and discussions without being nasty to each other, without calling each other, oh, you're a slave to whatever you're doing. Oh, you're in such a box. Oh my gosh. And it's like, oh, it was gross. The feeling was gross, just oozing off. And I kind of fed into it. I got caught, guys. I got trapped. I got stuck a little bit in that. I had to pull myself out of it, you know. I had to pull myself out of it. But like when I got home, I just sat in the car and I was listening to music for a little bit. I was finishing the song, and it was "Happy" by Pharrell. You know, I wanted to make sure I finished the song before I came inside because I wanted to make sure I was in a good, happy mood. So it's like you got to keep your vibration pure. Not every argument is worth getting into. Not every trigger is worth pulling. You know, not every trigger is worth pulling. Not every argument is worth getting into. There is a time and a place. It's just like in Pokemon when you try to ride your bike indoors. And I make a lot of Pokemon references on this channel. So if you know, just know that that's going to happen. It's like in the Pokemon games, where you try to ride your bike indoors, and then Professor Oak just suddenly comes into your mind. It's like, there's a time and place for everything, but not now. You can't ride your bike indoors. You can't ride your bike indoors. How many times I got to tell you that? There's a time and place for the debates. There's a time and a place for the discussion. There's a time and a place to, you know, follow that trigger and see what happens in the process. Honestly, I'm glad I did it because it taught me a lesson. It taught me this lesson of, you know, keeping my vibration pure, not really engaging with everything that I don't agree with. Yeah, that was my family. Yes, like he attacked both of my cousins pretty much and was saying nasty things to them and stuff like that. I'm still giving this dude energy. That's why after this video and stuff like that, that's why after tonight, I was like, oh, fuck that. I don't really give a damn anymore. You can stay over there, and I wish you blessings. I wish you the best and whatever like that on your spiritual journey and stuff like that. I just wanted to caution you guys, and perhaps you've seen it, that there is this brewing sense of pride, this toxic pride, in today's world, where people who are supposedly waking up, or, you know, maybe they don't buy all the brand stuff, you know, like that. And, you know, it's like, yeah, like I said, all these big businesses, not all of them are pure, but not all of them are negative. Not all of them are super shady and like just going to like give us all the shaft, whatever like that. Not all of them are like that. There's some good people out there that are doing some incredible, beautiful things for this planet, doing beautiful, incredible things for this collective, and are giving back. That's really what we should be focusing on. Because honestly, I'm telling you guys, Pluto and Saturn and the South Node is going to take care of all that other shit. Even after they leave the sign and the remnants of what they're doing may still be in effect, Pluto's going to take care of all of that, guys. It's okay. It's okay. We got to let the planets do their thing. Gotta let the planets do their thing. Right now, this is about keeping our vibration pure and not engaging with every trigger that comes up. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. This took too much of my energy today. Took too much of my energy today. I had to take my power back. I had to take my power back. So I'm just making this video to just share that experience with you all and just kind of caution you against those kind of situations, to not necessarily engage with everything right now. Mars is in Cancer. This is not a time to really be engaging with those things. This is a time where we're really just we're really acting on these emotions, And Cancer is cardinal water, so it is about how we direct that flow. So it's like, if something triggers you, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta remember, Chiron is squaring all of this Cancer energy too. It's going to square the North Node soon. Within the next year, it's going to square the North Node. Actually, probably this year, it'll square the North Node, right? It's about how we respond. It's about how we respond. Things are going to happen. People are going to piss you off. You're going to piss people off. And you just have to respond. Respond in the most pure way possible. Even if you don't agree with them, even if they don't agree with you, even if you have a lot of choice words for them, not every debate's worth getting into. It just isn't. And it's like, yeah, don't let it rob your energy, man. Just don't let it rob your energy. It really isn't worth it. So that's really all I'm going to talk about. Yeah, that's really all I'm going to talk about. And we are building up to this new moon in Gemini, so this is going to be a time where we really are starting to establish these new connections to ourselves and to other people and to our environment, and really crafting a new self in many ways. That's kind of what happens with the first 3 or 4 new moons of the cycles. Like, you get the new moon in Aries, the new moon in Taurus, the new moon in Gemini. It's like, during these new moons, it's really important because we're like crafting these different layers of really the self, because these planets deal more, these energies deal more with the self, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Cancer too, but then it starts to get a little bit more, when you get into the upper zodiac signs, it deals more with the collective and people. But it's like this third new moon that we're getting, this new moon in Gemini now, after, of course, we had the new moon in Taurus, the new moon in Aries, this new moon in Gemini, which I'm going to be making a video about it. It's going to be a powerful one too, because we're adding that other layer on, like, who are we becoming? What are we going to embody? What vision are we going to embody? I'm kind of getting to a space where I don't really feel like being confrontational, which is funny because I'm a warrior. It's like I have a warrior energy. Like, my ascendant is in Sagittarius conjunct Antares, so it's like, I am a warrior. I am definitely a warrior. But it's like, I've fought a lot of battles in this life and past lives, and I'm sure I'll fight battles in the future and stuff like that. But I don't know. Not all battles are worth getting into. There's a lot of unnecessary bloodshed, actual bloodshed, and metaphorical bloodshed, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get into all that stuff. You got to pick your battles, man. I picked the battle today. I don't think I won. I don't think I lost either, but I don't think I necessarily won. But I guess I won in my deeper understanding of why I even did that in the first place, and what came of it. So it's about protecting your energy. But anyways, that's it. That's all I really wanted to talk about. Thanks for listening to me ramble about my day and ramble about my experience today. And hopefully you gain some type of value out of this. Hopefully you gain some type of value. This is kind of like, I mentioned astrology in here too, because I naturally talk about astrology. It's like woven into my language now, but I feel like this is like just a real topic that I think most people can relate to, even if you're not into astrology and tarot and the new age esoteric stuff, which of course none of that stuff is really new age. It's just kind of coming up and being revamped. But I think it's a real story and a real theme that people can, relate to, like a real situation that people can relate to. You got to pick your battles. Not all battles are worth fighting. So anyways, I love you all so much. I look forward to Look forward to chatting with you all again. And as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.